Hey everyone, it's Bijane here, and it's Tuesday of the month. We're going to be on for 10 minutes so I can share with you some tips and tricks about grants. All right, so I'm here as the guru to answer your questions. So let's dig in. Before I do, I want to about my organization, BK International Education Consultancy. Our mission is to strengthen educators' practices to better serve youth. And we do that through continuing education and training, instructional design, as well as project management for a variety of communities, whether it's school communities, youth and nonprofit organizations, or parent organizations as well. So, our goal for tonight is to define what a grant is and also dispel some common misconceptions that you may have. And the overall outcome is help to build educators' confidence to go ahead and write some grants to increase student supports and stop spending out of pocket. So, let's dig in first. So, first, here we go. What are grants exactly? So, grants are different from loans because you don't have to pay them back. So, that's a win, right? Also, they're awarded by what we call a funder to an applicant. So if you're an educator and you apply for a grant, you would be considered the applicant, and whoever you are applying to would be considered the funder. Also, note a big thing to note is that grants, once awarded, they're considered a contract. So whatever you include in there, you want to make sure that you can deliver because it becomes a contract at that point. Okay, so just want you to be mindful of that one. That's one thing that people don't know. Couple other little facts about grants is that most grants fund a specific project. So think about all the classroom projects that you may have throughout the school year. You could be turning those into grant projects where you get some money and some funds to pay for those materials and supplies that your kids may need. Another thing about grants is that there's some level of compliance and reporting that's accompanied with it. So when I say compliance, I mean there's some rules that you have to follow. So whatever the funder is giving you money for, you have to be sure that you have read up on what you can spend those funds for, as well as how do you report out the impact or how successful was your grant project. So funders want to definitely know those things. And I wish grants were unlimited, but they are time limited. So usually you can find a grant that's a year that can last you for the whole school year. And you may luck up once you have your grant writing chops up and find a multi-year grant that's either 3 years or maybe even 5 years. So let's dig into some other questions. I want to dispel some other common misconceptions around grants. But first question is for you all. Grants are only for nonprofits. Is that true or is that false? What do you all think about that? Grants are only for nonprofits. Is that true or false? All right. So the actual answer is it's false. Right. Grants can be for nonprofits, they can be for small businesses, they can also be for teachers and educators, they can be for individuals. So there's a wide range of who grants can serve. So that's a misconception. They're not just for nonprofit organizations, right? Next question. Who knows how much grant money was awarded in 2017? That seems so long ago, 2017. But how much money was given away in 2017? Hey there, Lynn. Do you know how much money was given away or awarded in 2017 pre pandemic? Anybody with a guess? Type those in the chat. I want to see. I'm going to give you a little hint. It's more than a million. Okay, I see one response. Okay, I see 20 million. That's a good guess. Go up, go up. Ooh, I see, oh, 400,000. Go up, go up. Actually, the answer is It was over $700 billion in 2017 given away in grants. So why are teachers spending out of their pockets? I don't know. So I'm here to help you make sure that doesn't happen anymore. I don't want you to be one of those ones who are spending out your pockets for classroom materials and supplies. Okay, that should not happen anymore after today. Final question for you, and then I'm going to open it up to questions that you all can ask me. Which of the following specifically, they don't really give out grants? They don't fund grants. Would it be A, foundations, B, the government, C, crowdfunders, or D, corporations? This is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. Which of the following typically don't do grants? Let me see what you all have in the chat box. Any guesses? So we have one response. All right. Ooh, I have two of them. All right. So it seems like we're landing on C. Let's see what the correct answer was. And this is a tricky one. The answer actually is D, corporations. So foundations will give out money, will give out grant dollars. The government is the biggest, probably, organization that gives out grant funds. Then there's crowdfunding. Crowdfunding, we also consider as a grant because you don't have to repay it back once it's awarded, and you should follow everything that you put in your crowdfunding proposal, so to speak. So it becomes a contract. So we consider that as grant funds as well. But these corporations, they typically don't give out grants. There's some special um, nuances with that because sometimes what they'll do is corporations will create a foundation, their nonprofit arm to their for-profit business to give out to the community. Okay, so that was a tricky one. That was a tricky one. But you can get corporate sponsorships, and that's a whole other thing. So we'll talk about that another time. All right, good job. All right, so now it's time to ask the guru. That's me. So, any questions that you all have in the chat box, I want to know what questions do you have for me that I can answer for you about grants? Any questions at all? Go ahead and put those in the chat box while we have just a few minutes left. Okay, we have 2 minutes left on the clock. Any questions that you have? I can take one or two for tonight. And then I'll see you the next Tuesday for next month. Stay connected so you find out when our next one is. Any grant questions? Ooh, that's a good one. Are grants flexible? Yes, that's a very good question. So yes, yes, yes. You have to be mindful, especially for the amount that you receive. In certain instances, they can be. In other instances, depending on the amount, they may not be. So they could be considered income, depending on who is accepting the award. If you're accepting it individually as an educator, or if your school is accepting the award on your behalf. That's a great question. Here's another question. What are some ways to build our confidence when applying for grants? Okay, I'm going to give you a special secret. And this is the same thing that teachers tell their kids, right? One is follow the directions. So one is make sure that you read all the directions front and back. Oftentimes grant funders will have FAQs, frequently asked questions that they continually get from applicants. Read those so you're not one of those people who are doing what they don't want you to do, right? Or they can clarify something up for you. Another thing is to think about your lesson plan, all those components of your lesson plan, right? Usually you have what are the needs of your students before you teach the lesson? How are you going to assess what they know? What is the objective for the lesson? What activities are going to help them to meet the objective and be successful on the assessment? All those things, those are some similar things that you can put in a grant proposal. Grant usually asks you those exact same questions. So I would start pulling out your lesson plans and then going online and searching using our funding identification worksheet that you can find on our website. and I will put that here for you all in the ticker tape down below. You can check out our funding, our free funding identification worksheet, and find some grants and read it through, and then pull out your lesson plan or a unit and see how you can match those questions up together. Great question, excellent questions. I love those. Those are perfect. All right. What I also want to share with you all before we wrap up is for tonight, since you all were here, you all rolled with me on your Tuesday afternoon, I want to give you all a free grant readiness checklist. And what this does is to help build your confidence, let you know what you need to put in place so that you can be ready to go after those grants. And you can get that free, another freebie down below at tinyurl.com/grant checklist 21. So simple. That's there for you. Another thing is if you want some more coaching, I have a free Kindle ebook available for you called 12 Quick Steps to Writing Winning Classroom Grants. If you have an Amazon Prime account, here's another freebie for you. You can get the ebook. We'll give you even more details to help you build your confidence in writing grants. So you had 3 resources tonight. I hope that was helpful for you all. Stay tuned and follow us so you know when we'll be coming back on live again to answer any questions or share any tips with you all. You can connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube at BK Consultancy, or on Instagram now at BK_consultancy. So thank you all. You all have a great evening, and I'll see you all next time on Get Grants. Bye.